This is Mr. and what I have for you today is a quick and simple recipe and method to make scrambled eggs using the microwave oven. Now firstly what I do is I pour some boiling water into a tub. This is a double lined tub, you can use any tub, and you don't even need to do this step. Then I place some butter in a small container and I submerge that container partially into the boiled water, specifically to melt the butter. If you don't want butter in your scrambled eggs, then don't do this step. I add the butter into the scrambled eggs simply to increase the fat content of the food that I'm eating so that I feel a little bit more satiated after I've eaten it, because I just eat the eggs as themselves. I don't have it with any bread or any other items that would make me feel satiated, although I might possibly add small pieces of meat to it if I have some left over. But in any case, I use the hot water to melt the butter, and then I just leave that aside for the moment. And I'll let that, once it's melted, I'll even give it a little bit of extra heat for when I use it later. Now from there, I make sure I have another bowl and I'll be having my eggs ready. Now a bowl such as the one you can see doesn't crack eggs very well because the edge is too round, so in which case I use a knife to hit the egg on the side to crack the egg, but if you've got a ceramic bowl then you can do that way. So with 6 eggs, and I'll generally do 6 eggs at a time. If you want 7, 8, 9, 10, if you want the whole dozen in there then feel free to do it, but I only use 6 eggs at a time. So what I do then is I just whisk the eggs with a fork or a spoon. Now in this example I have used the fork to whisk the eggs. I generally will pierce the eggs with the fork to break the yolk, and then I will move the eggs side by side with the fork. From there it's into the microwave for 30 seconds with the lid on, and as my lid has a vent, the vent is closed. I don't want anything escaping at this point in time. I will pop the vent later, but not just yet. So after 30 seconds in the microwave, it's time to take the eggs out, and now I add the butter. The reason I add the butter after the first 30 seconds is that the first 30 seconds is when the eggs have been warmed up a little bit to room temperature, in which case the butter is not going to solidify straight away as soon as I put it into the eggs, and then I give it a good old stir, stirring the butter up, making sure that the warmth that was created, even though there's not a lot of warmth in it, is at least evenly distributed throughout the mixture, and then into the microwave for another 30 seconds again. Also note that it's only 30 seconds I'm putting it in. Now your microwave might vary, but I still recommend 30 seconds, and only the number of repeats will be determined. So as you can see, I move the fork backwards and forwards to try and chop up the little curds, or the large curds in this example, as the eggs start to cook, and then I want to distribute them evenly and try and make them as evenly sized as I can, and that way I'm trying to distribute the same temperature throughout the whole mixture. Then back into the microwave for another 30 seconds. Now I do this on high, and when I place it in the microwave I place it off center. Now when back out of the microwave again, I give it a stir. As you can see, more of the mixture has now turned or cooked, and I break that up just to try and evenly distribute the heat throughout the mixture. I break it up into as smaller pieces as I can. Now I don't recommend you use a whisk for this, such as a teardrop shaped whisk, because the egg curds will get stuck between the little pieces of wire within the whisk, and it's not as, to me it might whisk them up and it might break them up better, but then you've got more mess to clean up. In this case, the item that I'm using to stir the eggs and break them up into smaller curds is the same item that I'm going to be using to eat the scrambled eggs with when I'm finished. So I'm minimizing everything. Now, you can see I've used a knife there to crack the eggs. If you don't want to use the knife and you have a bowl that is sharp enough, or even a cup that you want to use, then feel free to use a cup. I'm just trying to minimize the amount of cleaning that I need to do once I'm done, because I eat the eggs straight out of this bowl once they're finished, and so I feel I don't need to put them on a plate with slices of toast or anything like that, because I don't have my scrambled eggs with toast. So once I break it up, I give it a good old stir to make sure it's evenly distributed heat-wise, and then back into microwave for another 30 seconds. Take the lid off, and then you can see that even more of the mixture has been cooked now. And I just repeat this process. Now, for me, in my microwave, it takes 5 goes. So I do the first go, then I add the butter. If you don't want to add the butter, that's fine. Then don't add butter, but still only do it for 30 seconds. Take it out, give it a stir to make sure everything is evenly distributed as far as the heat goes. Then another 30 seconds. Break it up, another 30 seconds. Break it up, stirring it, and that's what I'm doing here. Now, if you like your eggs super duper runny, then you would probably stop at this point because it is really quite warm. I don't like my eggs super duper runny. For me, 5 goes in the microwave is what's required. So one more go into the microwave for 30 seconds. Now the last go is when I pop the vent. If I don't, the pressure builds up and the lid will pop by itself. If you don't have a vent in your lid on your container, then just rest the lid on the container. Don't force it to be an airtight seal, and that way the air can come out. And that is how I do microwave scrambled eggs quickly, easily, all done in less than 3 minutes. And I salt and pepper to taste after I'm done is when I do the salt and pepper to taste. Again, I put the container on the edge of the thing in the microwave so it spins around off center. That way there's not any one particular single point that is getting all the microwaves. And after 30 seconds, stir, break up, back in. 30 seconds, stir, break up, so on and so forth, all the way through until you're done. In any case, that's all I've got for this video. If you have any questions or comments about this method, please leave them down below. If you've gained anything from this video, please subscribe. And until next time, thanks for watching.